Hello everyone, good morning. Thank you for coming for the last day in the conference to listen to this presentation. I will try to make it interesting. I know it's a last day, 3 days, it's a lot to take in the Odoo experience. The thing that we are trying to cover here is one of the Odoo implementation and which we are very proud of because we were competing with NetSuite, we were competing with Microsoft Dynamics. So one was to win against those players to make sure that the Odoo can be implemented, and second was that how that Odoo can help to scale the business to the next level. So the company is into fire alarm and security. They are based out of Vancouver in Canada and US and Dallas. By implementing Odoo, we help them to double their ROI and triple in terms of the productivity, and that's what I will try to cover in this presentation. A little bit about Brainwire. We are focusing on digital transformation. Company has been in existence for last 12 years. We grew to around 4,500 people globally between US, Canada, Middle East, and Dubai, Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi, Singapore, and India. Vertical-wise, we are into retail, healthcare, education, fintech, automobile, and distribution. As a company, we are partnered with Odoo. We are partnered with Adobe Commerce. We are partnered with Shopify, BigCommerce. On a cloud, we are on Azure, AWS, and GCP. So that's the company's range into it. We are typically into product development, product engineering, and digital product implementation, which can be digital commerce or the backend ERP management on that. We have been award winning. So in Dallas, we comes in top 100. That's our headquarters. Deloitte, we are fastest 500. These are some of our award and accreditation. A little bit of depth about Odoo, close to around 300 plus people focus on Odoo in Brainwire. We have close to around 200 plus which are certified. More than 350 plus project of Odoo that we implemented in last 5 years, become partnered with them. And we have done 100 plus integrations close to with all different type of third parties, whether we talk about payment, whether we talk about shipping, whether we talk about logistics, we talk about manufacturing integration, IoT devices, point of sale integrations, and all and above. I am the CEO and founder of company. Chintan Shah, my name is. Been in the IT industry for last 22, 23 years. 7 years we are associated with Odoo, and we are proud to be associated partner with them. And at this point of time, I can proudly say that we are one of the largest or one of the top largest partner in the worldwide from a Odoo point of view. We are global. We are gold partner in US, Canada, Middle East, Southeast Asia, Singapore. A little bit about the client. Radius Security is the name of the company, established in 1950, traditionally running business. They have close to around 450 employees working for them. They are into fire alarm, fire safety, and monitoring services. So they do video monitoring surveillance for the commercial properties. They get into the fire alarm and fire monitoring, and they also get into security as well. So most of their revenue was subscription-based revenue, and they also had their own monitoring device and monitoring system as well. So you wanted to make sure that a lot of these third-party systems can be integrated. They were using putting a camera in the commercial properties, and then there was some live person monitoring, and now also they are moving towards the AI that without physically person looking at it, if you see certain movements during the weekend or the off hours, you wanted to make sure that you get notified and the right action can be taken on top of that. So subscription was one of the key aspects. Mapping all the Google Map database was something which was important because they were trying to cover the entire Vancouver region. So when they cover Vancouver region, that means that each building will have number of tenants, and then each tenant will have a certain amount of lease. So either tenant get into the next tenant, so you need to make sure that you measure all of those things. For them, each site, each Google coordinates will have multiple sites, and they're managing each site for their subscription, monitoring, and inspection system. So this was something that is brief on the Radius Security from a company point of view. Now what we are trying to cover in this presentation is what type of Radius Security, what type of challenges that they were facing, what type of system that they had, and what type of things that we try to implement with Odoo, and after implementation, what type of kind of success that they got out of that. The initial challenges that Radius Security was facing was mainly into decentralized systems. So they were using Sedona, and they were using FireSpack. FireSpec was mostly for the security monitoring, so they actually go to the physical location and monitor that security inspection and then try to make a note out of that. And Sedona was something that they use it from their entire subscription point of view, their accounting point of view, and also about all their monitoring point of view in terms of monitoring the each and every activities of the subscription and going forward from the subscription as well. So the major challenges were decentralized system, lack of visibility because of that centralized system not talking to each other. So they were using Zendesk for the ticketing system. They were using something else for the payroll. They were using Sedona for the accounting and scheduling part of it. They were trying to use Microsoft Microsoft Visio and Project Plan for the project management and the task management activity. So a lot of disjointed system that they were using. Because of that, one was that there is a lot of issues with the data because they were not able to collect the data correctly. Reporting and dashboard was a challenge. They were expanding as we speak into the US market when we started working with them. So for them also the challenge was that how to make sure that the multi-countries, multi-location, multi-geography can be handled. And they were also expanding apart from the Vancouver going into the Toronto and other region. Systems were very rigid, like Sedona and also were not communicating, not easy to migrate, not easy to integrate. As I was talking about that they were talking about implementing some part of the AI in the monitoring system. So they wanted a system to communicate with each other, integrate with each other. So this was some of the challenges which was there. And that was one of the reasons that they were looking for a ERP solution. And while they were looking for it, they also wanted to make sure that they don't repeat the mistakes that they have done in the past. So they wanted something which can be flexible, scalable, easy to customize, and most important was easy to integrate. Yeah, typically how Odoo helped us to go to the next level was something that we completely replaced their Sedona system with Odoo. So entire their accounting, billing, ticketing, project management system, and the subscription platform came into the Odoo. Along with that, we integrated with their inspection system. So there also we have modified their inspection system into the inspect point and making sure that the inspect point integrate with them so that they get end-to-end system. So for example, that let's say that the scheduling team will do a scheduling that which are the site that you need to do inspection today or this month or this week. That schedule typically done in the Odoo. From Odoo you need to pass that into the inspect point so that it become a schedule, and then the person who is managing the inspect point will go to each and every location, will look at the site, do the inspection, make the report out of that, and then again report needs to come back into the system. So this is where providing the Odoo from the flexibility point of view, easy to integrate from the API point of view, whether it's a subscription, because when they are at the inspection site, they also need to know what is covered in warranty, what is not covered in the warranty, so that if they have to do a repair, maintenance, whether we need to bill to the customer or we have to consume internally. So all and above was there. Also some part of the security monitoring system that they were also doing a manufacturing as well. So it's not a deep manufacturing, but more of assembling of certain parts of that. So for them, that was also something that was important, that they wanted to try to cover Odoo from part of the manufacturing as well. Also end-to-end traceability was something that was very important for them to know that each site has given how much of revenue for them. Also which site has moved from them to their competitor. Which side consolidation happened, that the two offices got merged, because of that now their billing has reduced or increased. So all and above they wanted to know that from all data intelligence point of view. So they try to make sure that all this end-to-end traceability is something that we try to do it from a Odoo point of view. Also automation of the process was something which was important, that a lot of manual intervention was there in the old system, that you make a schedule in a separate system, schedule does not communicate with the fire inspect system, so you need to make sure that all those things are done manually, pass on entries manually to the other system. People do it humanly, and there are chances that the mistakes happen on that. So that was something that we tried to use Odoo and try to analyze that. So this project was altogether was a 6 month of implementation. It was a 250 user license to start with from a Odoo point of view, and now I think they are moving up to 400 users, considering the global rollout for them. We had our team actually visited their office and spend the time during the first 4 weeks for the blueprint sign off, and also they went during the go live and the training aspect of it. So the end result, the system that we try to do is like Sedona we have replaced with Odoo, and Firespecs we replaced with Inspect Point to give them end-to-end solution from that point of view. I mean, these are a little bit of the workflows in detail. Like, there was a workflow for customer point of view. There is a workflow from the salesperson point of view. So we build a customer portal as well, so that customer has visibility about their billing, their subscription, their plan for upgrading, downgrading, things like that. And as a salesperson, also there is a dashboard that for them to go into the each and every site, try to do upselling of their existing contract, or try to find out a new customer, and try to make sure that the entire selling happen on that. So all those workflow that typically that they had, we try to map that into the system. Key features that we try to implement here was one of the most important was customer portfolio management. So that's very important, that whether customer has a one office or multiple location, multiple offices, you want to know end to end about your customers, their lifetime value, dashboard, reports. So Odoo CRM was something which was very prominent to give that thing. Site management was something which was very important to make sure that each and every site is managed and you have a visibility with a Google Map. So we did a Google Map real-time integration to make sure that you have that visibility as well. Inspection management, so that's where Inspect Point is integrated from end-to-end system point of view. System management also, that entire system can be managed because they have a hardware, physical hardware sitting at a client location. Plus there is a monitoring system, so you want to make sure that all of those things are inventory is matched, things are managed. Also at the same time the warranty, replacement, all of those things has to be covered. The recurring revenue model was something very important for them because their business model is on that way that each and every customer will be their client for 1 year, and then there will be a multi-year contract. So RMA contract was something that was very important for them to know. Credit notes, things like that. Also the attrition report was something, a key aspect for them to know that which are the side which is moving out from the business, or they are getting out away from the business, or the lease is getting expired and they don't want to continue with you guys. So this was something for them to know that, and the reason that why they are losing the customer, what is the reason, so that ultimately the sales team and the customer success team make a right decision to take it to the next level. Also deficiency was important for them to know because they are doing some part of manufacturing and putting equipment at customer location. So they need to know that which are the equipment giving the most trouble, which are the sites giving the most trouble, which is the geographical, the weather situation is giving trouble to your devices and things like that, because most of those devices are in the out location, So those are some of the things that was very important for them to know. And based on that, they're able to make an intelligent decision, either to change the manufacturer or the supplier, or to look at it from the, whether installation people issues, or maybe look at it from the other aspect of it, that if there is something physical intervention which is happening at the location. So this was something that was very important for them to monitor, and that's where the Odoo were trying to get them all those reports in a single platform, in a single system. Earlier they used to have a 3, 4, 5 different systems. Using that system they're trying to get report, half of the time manual intervention needed, and ultimately you were never able to get what you wanted. Customer portfolio is something we try to do that in a Odoo screen, which is very important for them. So they want to know the customer contact, customer addresses, the building and the tenants, that they are occupying, the recurring contracts that you have with them, inspection contract, and then the sales and purchase opportunities and things like that, along with that accounting. So this is something that we try to get them in a single tab, and that itself has increased their efficiency by at least 20% for their sales team and the customer success team. For them, recurring contract was something which was important for them, that how much recurring contract you have and how many customers you're able to convert them into recurring. From 1 year into multi-year, from 6 months into 1 year, quarterly to yearly, something like that. So that is something we try to give them entire dashboard reports, and they're able to do that. At the same time, if salesperson get a positive response from that, they can make the recurring contract from the Odoo itself, and that contract goes to the customer with certain parameters and data. If they required a workflow approval, we made that. Okay, if there are certain discount customer is asking and you need a project, your manager approval, we have made that workflow as well. Inspection contract is something which was very important, that Inspect Point is something that they use for inspection, but the contract is something which is created in the Odoo, and then ultimately it gives the schedule and the direction to the Inspect Point so that the people can go do the inspection. When they do the inspection, they monitor all those things, the reports come back, And then ultimately as a customer level, you can see that this is many times we have done the inspection and these are the kind of reports and dashboard that we created. This many times required warranty, maintenance, support, and things like that. So that become a very good sales channel for the team to get into the next level of sales for them. Also, like, the inspection, as I was talking about, like, once you know that which are your inspection schedule, creating the project task within the Odoo, and from that task you send that data into the inspect point so that the inspect point application do it out. So that was also one of the most important criteria of integrating the platform, and they wanted to make sure that the seamless integration happened rather than having a manual team and manual intervention between them. Also, like, syncing data back from inspect point was something which was very important, that once you do the inspection, you get the reports, you get the notes, you get the things for the deficiency, the things for, like, the replacement, things like that. You want to make sure that all of those things are taken care of, notes, put that data back into the system so that the team can analyze and this data actually come back into the Odoo. So ultimately at a company level, they can start analyzing that which sites are giving more trouble, which sites are giving less trouble, where to invest, things like that. Deficiency was something which was very important for them to know, and whatever the deficiency that you find within the inspection, you want to make sure that within the Odoo you can make a quotation out of that for those materials or line items and send that quotation. So those were some of the things that we have done it very seamlessly. Earlier it was all manual, that they were writing on the paper will come back to the office after 2 days, 5 days, 10 days, depend upon the location. Based on that, they analyze the paper. Sometimes they can't identify the handwriting. They actually make the quotation, things like that. So it was like a long delay. Now with this, within a blink of eye, they're able to, once the inspection is over, they get the report. From that, they can create the deficiency code, send out the code to the customer. Attrition was something very important for them to know, that which are the sites which is stopping inspections with them. Either they're going into competitors, they're getting out of the business, or they are merging with some other business and they become bigger office, things like that. So that is something that we created in a single view, because most of the time the people who visit to the customer with the inspect point, they will be able to know exact reason for the attrition. So making sure that that data is synced with Odoo and get that report was something which was very crucial for them. So overall, when you look at it from output point of view, 3x in terms of the manual intervention has completely reduced for them. ROI point of view, still it's a work in progress. So at this point of time, they can, like, we can see that probably 2x of ROI is able to improve on that. But I can see that as the system progresses in next couple of years, they will see a long, huge jump in terms of that. Most important was productivity that has increased, that utilizing the team in the right way, that the people should not actually look at a physical paper and make a typewriter notes. Instead of that, they make the meaningful decision based on the data, information, and the reports and dashboard was something which was very important, and that is something that we try to achieve that way. These are some of our other customers, just to give you a brief on that. Like, globally, yes, we worked on a lot of enterprise customers. We have done a lot of Odoo implementation where there is, like, 400 physical stores. We have implemented Odoo for them. There are like 120 service center. We have implemented Odoo for those type of companies. We have implemented Odoo in multi-warehouse, multi-source inventory type of solution scenarios. Many of our customers are using SAP in the backend for accounting, and we have used Odoo for all other aspects and connecting with SAP as well. So, like, there are various enterprise level of Odoo implementation worldwide we have done. Whether we talk about retail, whether we talk about distribution, whether we talk about automobile, logistic, all and above from industry point of view. And then we have done, like, this type of, like, fire and security alarm companies as well from the implementation point of view, from the Odoo point of view. I think I'm just coming to the end of my time. So if you guys have any questions online, if there is any questions, happy to answer, happy to discuss. We have a booth in Hall 10, so at 8:10. So if you guys want to come there and ask any questions or email us for the questions, happy to do that. Hi.
Some questions from the pad. The first one is, what other security-related project implementation that you have you done?
Yeah, I mean, so as a company, we have been involved in many of the implementation from the fire alarm and security point of view. So naturally, that is one of the vertical that we have specialized into that. One of the proud implementation that we have done 5 years back was Bay Alarm Medical, which is 70 years old company based out of San Francisco, using Salesforce for 5 years, and we replaced Salesforce with Odoo. So that was a very proud moment, and I think Odoo covered that in a couple of their Odoo XP in the early part of that 2020. So that is one, and there are a couple of others we have done. So yeah, close to 5 to 6 implementation we have done. Big ones are like Bay Alarm and Radius Security and Venfire and NASCOM.
All right, thank you. Do we get a site level visibility?
So site level visibility is from the physical view point of view is different, but from the Google map and the site visibility point of view, that number of offices, number of apartment which is there, and number of apartment that you are covering from the security monitoring point of view, that type of visibility we have given within the Odoo system. But the physical monitoring and the physical actual site level scenarios, that is something that they are doing in a video monitoring and surveillance system, which is again separate, but we are trying to integrate that at some point of time to get some data or some key aspect of the site as well, yeah.
All right. What about warranties on installation during inspections?
So typically they sell equipment. When they sell the equipment, they also sell warranties. So if that is standard any electronics warranty that we face at day to day at our home, that certain things which are covered within the warranty, certain things which are not covered within the warranty. So typically when they put into the warranty, so when the inspection person go there, they will check out if there is a defect in the system, and then the system itself will tell whether this is covered within the warranty or not. If it is covered within the warranty, you will do a replacement for free. If it is not covered in the warranty, you will go into deficiency code. The quotation will go to the customer, get their approval, and then get that installed for the customer.
All right, I think that's clear. There's no more questions on the pad. Maybe we'll wait another minute if someone has a question.
No problem, but thank you all. I mean, I know it's the last day and it's too much to keep up for this type of session, but thank you for present here, and thank you for all the audience who are watching online. More detail about this implementation you can find online on our website. Odoo also, we are talking to Odoo to cover that on a live experience, so Odoo will be covering that from a video testimonial perspective as well. But yeah, so I mean, this is something that we are very proud of with associating with Odoo, that this type of system that we are able to do that with a multi-country and multi-source and multi-system integration, which can become very easy because of Odoo. So thank you, Odoo, for having us here. Thank you, audience, and thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
have a great rest of the day, and have a good weekend for all of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.